Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Ben,
I'm Ram.
and you're here again for another episode of the One Piece versus 4K podcast, where we compare the One Piece 4Kids anime to the Funimation dub, sometimes sub, throwing comparisons to the manga. Um, yeah, we're back again, episode 47 from the podcast end, also episode 47 from 4Kids end. Uh, but yeah, I guess right before we get into this episode, what's been going on with the One Piece world?
So we've had a couple of chapters released since the last episode. I think two actually, and they're pretty event packed. One of the big ones for one of the big fights has finally concluded, and it actually kind of concluded twice because they actually had to put like an announcement. Okay, this person won basically. So yeah, one of the two big fighters has finally been defeated, so only other one is left. And yeah, we're seeing a bunch of the other smaller fights kind of wrap up too. So I think these fights will conclude in about the next 2 to 3 chapters. I want to say the next two, but it's possible it might go another third chapter. The only thing that might prevent it from finishing in the next 2 to 3 chapters is if they do the inevitable flashback for one of the fighters, Kaido. So, yeah, that's the only thing that might happen. Like, if they do a flashback for Kaido, the fight will continue. The fight will probably end in, say, 5 chapters. But if they don't do a flashback, um, I think it's possible the fight will end in the next 2 chapters. Uh, and then and then they'll probably have like some other kind of thing that they need to get finished before uh like this war ends. But yeah, it's been like really good. They're starting to kind of wrap up this war, so it's been good. And I think basically the thing about the Wano arc is that it's like a kabuki play, kabuki theater, where it's apparently 5 parts. There's part one, part two, part three, part four, part five, and part one ended way early uh, in the story, and then part two ended not that long ago, and then part three has been going on for a long time, and it's kind of encompassing the war. Some people thought part three was going to end in middle of the war, and part four will have something else. But I don't think that's what's gonna happen. The way I see this Kabuki theater fight is basically part three um, involves this war, and then part four will be celebration, and then part five will be departure. That's my theory on the Kabuki theater parts. If there is going to be a part four and a part five, which a lot of people still think part four will be part of the fights. I don't think so because the fights are pretty much wrapping up. So yeah, and yeah, that's kind of been what's been going on. Another thing is that we're actually getting some like stuff from the live action adapted series. One of the ships that is set to appear, this ship only appears once in the first season of the anime and the manga, and they're building out this ship. And I don't know why they decided to build out this
Talking about
ship.
the ship in the first episode.
Yeah, the Viking ship.
Yeah, with what's her name?
No, no, no. It's not. What's her name? It's not Alvida. It's Shanks.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah. The thing is, like, so Shanks. Someone leaked a photo of Shanks's ship, and it's like I don't get it because
What if it's
like
just like a model, or is it the
I mean
full big ass ship?
it's a big ass ship,
Oh,
and I don't get it because like we're not gonna see the ship like we don't really see the ship honestly too much. Um, like we see it then, and then I want to say we see it in a non-canon filler episode in the first season. I don't know if they're going to add the non-canon filler in it because I feel like people will speculate about non-canon characters. Like they'll kind of speculate, oh, this person's going to be factoring into the future thing about this or that, and it's like no, like so like for instance, in one of the non-canon episodes, there's this one character who's like this fallen marine who does bounty hunting in Logtown. Um, I think it's like something Daddy the father, or I don't know, I forget what his name is. But like he's like this promising upstart marine who started with I guess Chaser in the Four Kids, it's Smoker in the Funimation and the regular, and apparently uh they started out in the Marines together, and he was like a great Marine sharpshooter, but something happened and he left the Marines, and he's like a bounty hunter for the Marines, and we actually talked about this episode because Usopp ends up finding him, and we find out that he lost a duel to Usopp's father. Usopp's father, Yasop, apparently wouldn't kill him and all that. So it's like one of those things where like, and none of this actually happened in the manga at all. This is just like a filler. And I feel like if they were to do the fillers, people would speculate about that side character that's not
Well, then
real.
people
Like,
are gonna immediately say, "Nah, nah, dog, that shit's a side character." Like the people that seen the anime will tell them.
I mean, they better because like,
Well, who cares if
because
they're wrong though, right?
I mean, I don't think it would help with future fan speculation should the show become successful in the live action form.
Yeah, I still don't think the show is gonna be successful. I've yet to see a successful live action
Live action
anime
adaptation.
adaptation.
Yeah, I know so much was riding on Cowboy
I
Bebop being.
know, and it looks so good. I still haven't finished it. I still want to, but at the same time, I'm like, dude, there's so many other things I'd rather watch. But like, I still kind of want to see how that ended. I mean,
I mean,
obviously, it didn't end. They just ended it. But I just want to see like how bad it was. Like, I mean, like I said, the first episode wasn't that bad, but honestly, it wasn't that good either. I didn't. It didn't make me want to immediately go to the next episode. So,
yeah, yeah, and like I feel like Cowboy Bebop got the full Netflix effort too,
oh yeah.
and
But
that's the
we talked
situation that
about
we're.
it. One Piece is getting even more money put into it, so
Yeah. Apparently not the full 100 million. Because apparently the episodes got cut down from 10 to I think 8 episodes for the first season. So it's definitely going to be just the East Blue. It's not going to be what we're seeing right now.
or
So
maybe they
yeah,
did get
like,
the full 100 million and they used it for 8 instead of 10 to make it better.
dude, if they need to spend $100 million on the first season, they are in trouble because things only get more wackier inside the Grand Line than it does outside. Like if there was like the cleanest live action adaptation of an anime um to like a live action show for a show like One Piece, it's season 1 in the East Blue because
Yeah,
that is
you're
the
right.
only season where like Luffy is like the only one, who's like wacky with his rubber stretching hands. Obviously, there's like Captain Morgan with his axe hand and stuff, but for the most part, it's like really tame. Whereas in the Grand Line, things get wacky. I mean, like we just saw like a guy. I mean, granted, the shooting the booger bomb isn't like a huge thing, but like going inside a whale's stomach, like that's
Nah,
something
that's
that's crazy.
easy.
So it's like yeah, there's the whale thing, and then like I don't want to spoil like what's about to come, but like for instance, like the unluckies that we see, this kind of like vulture and this like cheetah or cat or raccoon or whatever that thing is. one of the characters that we're going to get introduced to in the upcoming episodes, and so on and so forth. Like it's just going to get wackier and wackier, especially as the seasons go on.
Just
So it's
fully
like
CGI it, man.
it's good. Yeah, that's the thing. Like it's going to get way more expensive.
Yeah.
So that's why like the fact that they're putting this much money into one of the tamer seasons, it's like it's going to be costly. So um, but yeah, that's what's been happening. The anime has been pretty the pacing in the anime has been pretty slow because uh I mean due to COVID, the manga's pacing has been slowed down to a snail's crawl, and apparently people in Japan have been complaining about it too. Um I'm hoping this year as we start to I guess in a ways start to open up more. Hopefully the manga will get back to 3 chapters a month. We'll see. But yeah, because of the pacing of the manga even slowing down, they had to stretch out a lot of chapters in the anime. So yeah, because we're near the end of the war in the manga, but the war has like already started in the anime, and so it's like there's still so much. I mean there's still like a huge gap between the manga and the anime, but it is one of those things where I wouldn't be surprised if they started to put some filler episodes before they go back, maybe for like a special or something. Like they did do like a filler recap thing I think around New Year's. So yeah, the pacing of the manga has really kind of gone to a snail's crawl. So that's kind of what's been going on. But what's been going on with you?
Not much. Just been playing a bunch of random video games. I beat Mario Kart, the original Super Mario Kart, on Super Nintendo, and then I beat the Game Boy Advance Mario Kart. Why I don't know, because I've been playing them like earlier, like this year and like last year and the year before. I started trying to beat a lot of these kart racer games, and then I was finally like, why am I playing all the shitty ones when I can play like all the Mario Karts that I never beat? So I started
Mm.
playing those. But I'm sorry for anyone listening to this that likes Mario Kart for Super Nintendo, but that is the absolute worst one. A lot of people say that there's like this bias with Mario Kart where the first one that you played is your favorite one, and I actually don't agree with that because like back when I was a kid, I did rent Mario Kart for Super Nintendo, and I do remember not liking it, and I just kind of forced myself to like it because I rented it. Um, but no, with me, I'm the opposite. I think the latest Mario Kart is always the best one. Mario Kart 8's definitely the best one. But yeah, so that's what I've been doing. I also started trying to play Mario Kart DS. So I'll probably be continuing with that in a couple days. But I do need to get back and play a bunch of other games that I started and never finished. But I just get in the mood for something and then I just get sidetracked and start playing something else. I need to. I really need to go back to that new Pokemon game, the Legends Arceus. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's it for me. Mainly just playing games.
Yeah, I did download the recent Just Cause, I think it's 4.
Oh, just Cause
Um
4.
yeah. And so I've been meaning to start streaming it. I just
Wait,
haven't
I thought you were
started
gonna
yet.
start streaming Assassin's Creed.
No, I think I'm gonna do Just Cause 4 and then I'll start with Assassin's Creed.
Okay, well, enter. Well, I'll be curious what I never played any of the Just Cause games. I've seen a lot of it. It's crazy. Like the stuff you can do in it's crazy. But
Yeah, I mean Just Cause 3, like the stuff you could do in it is like really wacky and stuff.
did you
So yeah,
play
I had a
Just
lot of
Cause
fun with
3?
that. Yeah, yeah, it's a fairly quick game, honestly.
Oh, I never knew you played that.
Yeah.
When? For what system? For PC?
PS4.
Oh, you never told me you played that.
Oh yeah. No, Just Cause 4 is pretty fun. It's
Or I mean
it's
3.
like Huh?
You said you beat 3 before, right?
Yeah.
Oh, and you started playing 4?
Oh, I haven't
Oh,
started playing it.
okay.
I downloaded it. I haven't started playing it.
Interesting.
The thing with the Just Cause games is that um you can kind of do so many dumb stuff in it, and that was kind of the thing that got a lot of people hooked in Just Cause 3. Like some people would put like these thrusters on like cows, and then they would like launch cows all the way up. Um, like they would just do dumb stuff like that, and that's what got me into Just Cause 3. And I played it a lot, and yeah, I do like dumb stuff there, and that's what I'm thinking I'm gonna do with Just Cause 4 too. I'm gonna see what the mechanics are and what I can do, and I'll probably do a bunch of dumb stuff there. Um,
Nice.
but yeah, it'll be a pretty yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to it. I just haven't like started it yet, but I need to start Just Cause 4. Um, like did you watch the latest Spider-Man movie, No Way Home?
Yeah, it was good. Did you finally watch
Dude,
it?
I did, and the thing is, like, I don't know, at a certain, maybe it was just the ending or something, like, because I just played the old Spider-Man movie, like it's not old
Oh, the
Spider-Man game, but like the recent one, and then I played Miles Morales
yeah.
one. Like when I watched the movie, I'm just like, oh, this feels just like the game. When he went into the feast shelter, I was just like, oh, this looks exactly like the game. And the way the movie ended, it was like, oh man, this is just like the game. When he pulls out the phone, I was just like, oh, this is like the game.
That's interesting.
So
I
yeah, I don't know what it is, but
can you I can hear myself a little bit.
oh, okay, how about now?
Hello? Okay, that's better. Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, the Spider-Man movie was it was just because of how close to me finishing the game that I watched the movie. I was just like, oh wow, the ending felt like the game to me, but it's whatever.
I'm actually legit shocked that I saw that movie before you. Um, but yeah, yeah, it was a great movie. I heard that there's some. I hope that when it comes out like on DVD or whatever, that there's a lot of bonus footage. I heard they actually did shoot a lot of extra footage for it, so I'd be interested in seeing it.
Yeah, same. I'd be interested to see what's there. It looked like a fun movie. Yeah, interested to see how they like continue in the future with how they ended the movie.
Yeah,
Kind of avoid spoiling the movie, so yeah, I'm interested to see how they're going to continue with the character because apparently Tom Holland he gave like three different like statements on
yeah. I don't believe, dude. This is like you're talking about him continuing to work on the movie.
yeah
I don't believe it. I believe he's saying that shit because he wants more money. He's not gonna be like, yeah, man, I'm definitely signed up. He's gonna be like, I don't know, man. You know what I mean? Like, just so
yeah I guess
they'll just like keep like offering him more and more money.
yeah I mean he did mention about how like they should do like a Miles Morales focused movie at some point, but then again I guess he did like complete his 6 movie contract if he did sign a 6 movie contract. So I guess yeah, maybe it is a contract extension thing.
Yeah,
That he was saying all these statements.
that's what I'm thinking. He needs the contract renewed, so he's not saying anything definitive.
Yeah. Yeah. Because yeah, the theater there. I mean, the Marvel. They were all saying about how like they have like a couple more movies. They said three, but they just said a couple of more. Um, I'd be interested to see. I don't know
Everyone's
how
saying
many
that they
more.
want Spider-Man 4 and Amazing Spider-Man 3.
In Amazing, like they want him to go into the Amazing
No,
Spider-Man verse.
they want them to make an Amazing Spider-Man 3 now and Spider-Man 4.
The Tobey Maguire one.
Yeah, they want them to make a Spider-Man 4 with Tobey Maguire, and they want them to make an Amazing Spider-Man 3, the Andrew Garfield one.
Oh,
People are saying that they
um,
should make those now, just because of
oh,
how
okay.
successful the you know the latest one was.
I mean, I guess, but like Andrew Garfield, from what I heard, he said this movie was like a nice. It kind of tied loose ends because of just how abrupt. his
Yeah.
series ended.
But see, this
So
I heard people talking about this, and this is what I feel they should do. They should just bring Andrew Garfield into the Venom verse.
that's the one thing I didn't get. Like,
At
is
the
the Venomverse in the Marvel one or is it in like Andrew Garfield's one?
No, it's technically in the Marvel one, but like it's not really because it's like in a different universe. No, no, no. It's in a totally different one. Well, see, they actually haven't said really, so like they could make it so that Venomverse is in the. They never distinctly said all we know is that it's in another universe, but it's definitely not in the Tom Holland one.
Okay, so it's definitely.
So
I mean, it's definitely not in the Tobey Maguire one because
yeah,
like
yeah, it's not in
Venom.
that one. So I mean, that's why it would be
Yeah,
perfect to bring in Andrew Garfield for that one. But
yeah,
we'll see what
yeah,
happens.
yeah. Because I mean, granted, they. Yeah, I mean, even though he went missing, it's like a little droplet of the symbiote still fell into the Tom Holland
Yeah,
one.
that
So
means it's going to be a different Venom, or there's going to be something or actually no, that just means that in whatever Spider-Man 4 Tom Holland version that it's got to be Venom in there, but it's going to be him turning into the you know Venom or whatever. I think. Well, the symbiote
yeah,
Spider-Man.
yeah, I don't know. Because like the video games, it feels like they used Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, just because of how similar he looked in his Spider-Man costume to the one in the game. So
No, I thought in the game yeah, but then they redid him and he looks more like the Tom Holland one.
maybe I didn't get the redid one because like the one I'm looking at still looks like Andrew Garfield.
Oh no, but in yeah, whatever. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah, let's just get into this episode. We're gonna be talking about Spider-Man forever.
yeah, I know.
All right. So my episodes, we'll get to whatever your episode or episodes were at the end, but my episode was titled "Escape from Misty Peak."
Okay.
So the episode opens with Luffy running to go find Usopp and Sanji. He finds them, drags them by their feet and nose. I'm sure you can guess who he drags by the nose. Uh, Nami and Vivi are running as Nami tells Vivi to hurry up, and Vivi is saying, "Where's Karu?" It then cuts to some woman in a cowboy hat saying, "I guess that was the hard way to get your compass." Luffy brings Usopp and Sanji to the ship, only to find that they're still sleeping while he's dragging them. Nami and Vivi then begin talking about her lost Ducky, aka Karu, and they find out it's already aboard the ship. Zolo asks how many people will be on their trail. Vivi says about 2,000 henchmen are on payroll. Sanji and Usopp then start saying they are moving and that this town was loaded with beautiful girls. And Usopp says, "Yeah, even some of them were looking at me." Did that happen in yours?
Sort of. I mean, okay, so basically, yeah, like Luffy dragged them all into the ship. They both got in, and then yeah, Sanji was like, "Yo, this place has like a lot of girls. I want to spend one more night there." And then Usopp was like, "Yeah." Well, he didn't say anything about the girls, but he said something about like this was really fun. We're not sure how we're going to have more fun somewhere else. Let's just have more fun here. So
Interesting.
not
So it was
really.
different because he specifically says some of the girls even looked at him in this one, which I thought was weird.
Yeah. Yeah. So okay, so you're saying this woman with the cowboy hat shows up and she's like a decoy?
All she says is, "I guess that was the hard way to get your compass." That's all she says at this point.
Oh wow. Because like she doesn't say that in mine. What she says is, oh, a decoy. How silly of them to think this would work or something like that.
Oh, okay, I got it. So she was thinking they had sent that ship as a. Oh, well, they did send that ship as a decoy, but okay, I got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then Zolo asks Nami to give them a wake up call, and you hear a smash, and then see them lying on the ship with huge knots in their head. All of a sudden, we hear the woman in the cowboy hat aboard the ship saying they should find the current soon as long as they don't hit any rocks. Nami and Vivi are confused, to which they both turn around and see her. She says hello, and Vivi looks scared and says no. Zolo asks what gives, and Vivi says, it's you. To the woman in the cowboy hat. The woman says Mr. 8's decoy plan didn't work out, did it? Luffy then screams, "Why is the stowaway? Why is the stowaway here?" As Vivi reveals that it's Miss Sunday and asks what she's doing here.
So, really quick. So yeah, basically, Usopp and Sanji they're begging, and then uh, Nami then I think Zoro then says, "Hey, can you tell them what's going on?" And then you hear two smacks, and then Nami's like, "Yeah, I filled them in on what's going on, and now they're fine." And then Zoro was like, "Well, that was quick." And then as they were like getting away, you hear like yeah, you hear a voice saying, "Well, it's a good thing we were able to get out of there in time." And they're like, "Yeah," and then like yeah, she said, "Oh yeah, we certainly escaped and into clear waters now, and the fog is like gone." And they're like, "Yeah." And then Nami, I think it was Nami, she was thinking that wait, that doesn't sound like anyone on the ship.
Yeah,
And then they look back, and then yeah, we see her. So I actually have a question about the lady. Wait, did you mention that her name was Miss Sunday?
yeah.
Yeah. So I have a question about Miss Sunday. How did she look? What did she wear?
I mean, she was barely clothed. She had like
Was
on a
she
bikini. Yeah.
like she didn't wear like okay, so all she wore was like basically a bikini, like just like
Yeah.
shorts with like a mini skirt and like a tank top that exposed her belly and
Yep.
uh, a cowboy hat. Like you
Yep.
could see all her skin.
Oh yeah.
Wow, I honestly thought they covered her up more. Did you see cleavage?
Yeah. They didn't They didn't really
Wow,
cover her up.
I am shocked. Oh man, I thought they would have covered her up more because like that was the thing, like they emphasized on her sexuality, well, not her sexuality, but her like I guess sexiness. I don't know how to say it, but like they emphasized on like her looks, like they showed how like she didn't have a bra on, she just had whatever she was wearing. I don't know, she had like a really tiny mini skirt and that she like folded her legs over, and it was almost like she wasn't wearing too much. And I figured they would have like done something to cover that up, but wow, Four Kids didn't cover that up. I'm wondering how controversial that was.
I
um
doubt it controversial at all because by this point probably no one was watching it. After how weird it had been, I don't know. I don't know.
because yeah, I mean, it gets way worse after the time skip, but like she actually gets a lot more tamer. Like, well, almost a lot more tamer. Um, but wow, I'm surprised that they didn't cover her up. Wow, yeah, okay, go ahead. I just wanted to know how she looked. How did she sound?
Country. She had a country accent. I mean, it makes sense. You know, the cowboy hat.
Yeah, I guess so. Wow, that's hilarious.
Yeah. So Nami says something tells her this isn't good, and Vivi says that uh, she's friends with Mister Zero, aka the crocodile guy, and is scared. Vivi says her and Igaram were following her to find out where he was, and Miss Sunday says that she led them right to Zero. She then says when they learned his identity, she squealed. Luffy then asks if this is a good guy or a bad guy, as Zolo asks him to put a cork in it. Vivi says, "Tell us what you're after," and Mrs. Sunday says she thought she'd help since they've been running around everywhere, and calls Vivi a spoiled little brat. Everyone at this point in the crew draws their weapons at her as she makes all their weapons fly out of their hands with like the motion of her hand. It's then revealed that she has a cursed fruit. Sanji gets up and realizes her beauty and says, "Look at her, what a babe." She tells him to cool it, and says that she has no orders right now and wants to be friends. She then pits Luffy's she then pulls Luffy's hat off and brings it to her and says she's heard all about him before placing it on top of her other hat. Luffy is angry and Miss Sunday hands them the Eternal Compass and says it will take them directly to Alabasta and that they will
Oh,
be home free because they don't know this route.
okay. So before we go further, okay. Um, so yeah, in mine, like basically during the conversation, Vivi talks about how she was basically following Miss Sunday close to the lair, which is how she found out who Mr. Zero
Mm-hmm.
is and his identification as Crocodile. And then Miss Sunday was like, "You didn't." She basically said, "I need to correct you. I allowed you to follow
Yeah,
me all the way there and find out who it was." So yeah, there was that. And then, so did they have Sanji pointing an actual gun?
I didn't notice that what he was pointing.
Okay, well, it was like Sanji, like so Usopp pointed his slingshot at her, and Sanji pointed a
All
gun
I
at her.
noted, I'm sure he did. I mean, they like it seemed like towards the beginning they censored a bunch of random things, but like I mean, there's nothing threatening about pointing a gun if they don't shoot
Yeah, I
it
guess
right.
so. Yeah. I mean, yeah, they don't because yeah, the next what happens is she says, "I don't like when people point things at me," and then like next thing you know, like they're basically guns are thrown off and they're thrown off the ledge. Um, and they're just like, "Oh, she ate a devil fruit," and they tried to figure it out, and then they said which devil fruit did she eat, but they never find
Yeah,
out. Um, but yeah, so yeah, that's just one thing I wanted to say. But yeah, and actually, the log post that Miss Sunday gives to them, it's not to Alabasta in mine. She says that it points to, I think it's like Nanohashima or something, Nanohana. It's like something that starts with an N. It's like Nanohana or Nanohashima or some island. She said this is an eternal pose that goes straight to this island. And she says it goes straight to an island near Alabasta that the people that like Baroque work agent don't know about. So this goes directly there.
interesting because
And
she just says in this that it'll send them directly to Alabasta, but through a route that they don't know.
oh, okay. Yeah, no, I mean, the eternal pose that she gave, she did say it'll take them in a route where, like they won't be
Yeah,
crossing paths with Baroque work agents, but it was to a different island, not straight to Alabasta. I honestly thought it was straight to Alabasta when I tried to recall, when I was like watching, when I watched it the first few times. Obviously, like I'm like fucking episode 600 now, but like. Um, when I'm in my rewatch, I'm at episode 600. But I kept thinking that like the eternal pose that she gave them was to Alabasta because I figured she grabbed it from Igaram because Igaram had that eternal pose to Alabasta. And so I thought she took that eternal pose and that's what she gave them. But then when I rewatched it now, it's like it's not to Alabasta, it's to an island close to Alabasta. So yeah, it's interesting that they did say straight to Alabasta in yours. But yeah, go ahead.
yeah. Vivi then thinks that if she's telling the truth, at least she can guide them to safety. Luffy doesn't buy it, grabs the compass and smashes it in his hand. Nami's pissed and Vivi is completely shocked. Luffy then says she doesn't decide anything for us, and Miss Valentine says she didn't know she was or Miss Sunday says she didn't know that he was such a hot-headed captain and hops aboard a huge turtle with a cowboy hat on and sails off.
So, yeah, dude, that scene where Nami attacks Luffy is like one of the most like comedic cartoonish scenes because you see like Vivi's mouth like it's like really
Yeah,
huge, her eyes are really huge. It's very funny.
yeah, I thought that
Uh,
was really funny too, and it's funny too because I paused it there to write my notes. Like I paused it at that exact scene that you're talking about, like that exact frame.
yeah, it's like one of the most hilarious things that like they really accentuated her eyes and mouth. I thought it was just hilarious seeing her eyes and mouth like that.
Well, there was a
But
lot of
yeah,
like classic comedic cartoon things in this episode. There was that, and then there was also like slamming them on the head, and like you just like
yeah,
hearing
yeah,
it
yeah, yeah.
too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, this is like typical with One Piece, but it's just yeah, that one frame always like just has me rolling. But yeah, okay, so go ahead. So yeah, so Luffy so yeah, Luffy basically so yeah, Vivi is kind of conflicted on whether they should go that way or whether they should go this way because she's like, these people are helping me now. It would probably be best if we used the eternal post to go straight because they would go straight, they wouldn't face any trouble. So she was actually thinking this would be the best way to go. And then Luffy walks over, he grabs it, and he smashes it. And he's like, we're not gonna go this way." And then Nami attacks him. We have that, and then Luffy then so Nami hits him, and Nami yells at Luffy, saying, "You took one of the easier routes and smashed it. How could you?" And then Luffy, when some people, I don't think people mistake it as Luffy looking at Nami. I think he was actually looking at Miss Sunday, and he looks at Miss Sunday and said, "You're not going to determine where this ship goes." But because he says it right after Nami hits him, I think some people might mistake it as Luffy telling Nami, as the captain of the ship, that she can't tell him where the ship goes. But in actuality, after Luffy smashes and Nami hits him, Luffy actually looks at Miss All Sunday and he tells Miss Sunday that, hey,
Yeah,
you're
that's
not
what
gonna tell.
I never
Yeah,
thought it was the other way around.
yeah. It's just I can like I think I made that mistake once, but then I rewatched the scene and I realized, oh, he's actually talking with Miss Sunday and not Nami. So yeah, he tells Miss Sunday, "You're not going to determine where this ship goes. It's going to be us." And then she's like, "All right, cool." And then yeah, she then gets on a giant turtle thing, turtle ship thing. I don't know. That's also wearing a cowboy hat, and they go off. And here's the thing, right? She mentions that the next island in the log pose is Little Garden, and then she tells them, "Okay, you smashed this. If you don't want to take this direct route and you're going through Little Garden, you guys will be long dead before you even reach Alabasta. So good luck to you all." And then she goes away. So yeah, the next island is Little Garden. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Um. So yeah. So Vivi then apologizes, and she's sorry she didn't warn them about the second compass. To which they say, "Don't worry, they're all set." Um. And I don't get how they're all set, but I guess the compass is fine, even though it was smashed, because they have it later on. I guess that was just a funny bit. I mean, that really confused me, but okay.
Well, so okay, there's a regular log pose that Nami has strapped to her wrist, and then there's the eternal pose, which is what Miss Sunday gives her. Um, the eternal pose points to one island, and
Yeah,
one
but
island
it was
is.
confusing because they looked exactly the same, and they never explain it in this in the Four Kids.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, the eternal pose, it's like a time, it's like a, one of those like time things,
Yeah,
like the time sand things. It's like that, but it's only pointing in one direction. Whereas the log pose, it's like something Nami wears on her wrist,
got it. Okay, so that's the one
like a
they have
watch.
left, the one that Nami had on her wrist.
Yeah, and the thing with the log pose is you have to go to that specific island before it resets to the next island, or you have to wait at a certain location before the log pose resets.
Got it.
Yeah, but yeah, go ahead.
Next, we see Luffy and Usopp dancing and singing a song. They say, "We're an awesome band of pirates, and here's what we have to say: live to fight again, live to fight again." They then stumble and fall down, to which Nami says they've had too much sugar again. I'm sure it's not sugar in yours, right?
I mean, this scene isn't even happening.
Okay.
It may happen at a
Yeah,
later
later.
episode that I
Okay.
haven't gotten to, but it's not even happening. Because you want to know what's happening right now?
Uh,
Right now, what happens is, in terms of at least the Funimation, is that okay? They're finally set. As,
Oh, it goes to the Kobe thing.
well, no, no, no. So basically, Miss Sunday leaves, and then basically Luffy looks on, and Zoro's like, well, I think I think Vivi says something about how like um, she has no idea what's going on or something like that, and then Zoro makes a joke about how we already have another guy on the ship who doesn't know what's going on, and like you see this cartoonish arrow pointing straight at Luffy, um, as he says this as an indicator that yeah, Luffy's the dumbass. Um, and then the next episode they're sailing, and they're just kind of like they're kind of sailing, winds are down, everything's like nice and calm, which is when we flash over to Colby and Helmeppo and their adventures. First, in the first episode, first of the two episodes, in the first one, um, we see we're back at Warship Island where Kobe and Helmeppo are basically uh, chore boys at the marine headquarters location in Warship Island, and they're doing like work, and they basically get into a fight at the top of the roof, and they fall down from the roof, and they accidentally fall on a cannon which launches a cannonball at a building and destroys the building. And then they are on a ship, they're helping, basically they get handed the duty of transporting, not those two specifically, they just join a group of the Marines who are tasked with the thing of handing off um, X and Captain Morgan to the Marines to go off and go send off to jail. And Kobe and Helmep are part of that, but then uh, Accent Morgan, like when they're about to give it off to Vice Admiral, we are introduced to Vice Admiral Garp. We don't see his face. He's wearing like this dog mask thing, and then he says something about how he's been awake for 4 days trying to break the record of consecutive donuts eaten in a single setting. And he takes out another donut, and as he's eating, he falls asleep. And they're like, "Is he still alive? Is he asleep?" And then they think he's asleep, and then Axe-Hand Morgan is like, "Hey, old man, stop playing the act." And then he sees that he is asleep. So then Axe-Hand Morgan's he takes his axe and slashes Garp, and you see blood everywhere, and kind of like him in like a falling motion, and they think he's dead. And then Axe-Hand Morgans grabs Helmeppo, and he's like, "If you guys do anything, I'll kill him." At his son, basically, he has a knife up to his son's neck. Um, and then he escapes in a small boat, and one of the officers like telling the Marines to take a cannon out and shoot down the ship that Texan Morgan is on. And then he says, "Don't you shoot, or else I'll kill him." And his Helmeppo is like, "I'm your son," and he's like, "I don't care that you're my son. I'm trying to survive." And then right before they shoot, Kobe like jumps in front of the cannon saying, "Helmeppo is my friend. Don't shoot. He's my friend. I'll go capture Axan Morgans and bring him back myself." So then they jump off the ship, and then they go. Then Kobe jumps off the ship and then goes towards Axan Morgans. They kind of struggle a bit, and as they're struggling, you see Vice Admiral Garp get up, and then he smashes the cannon with his fist. And he's like, what's happening? What's been going on?" And then he hears someone talk about how someone got killed, and then Garp's like, "Oh, someone got killed. That's bad. Who was it that got killed?" And then he looks down and he sees that he's the one who got slashed, and he's like, "Oh, it's me." And then you see everyone kind of like joking, and then one of the officers informs Garp what's going on, and Garp then takes out binoculars and looks at the situation, and after a little bit of a tuggle with Captain Morgans with Kobe and Helmeppo, it looks like they're about to get killed, but Morgans just throws them into the water and he escapes. And then Garps takes them under his wing, Like the Marines were talking about how they were gonna fire Kobe and Helmeppo, but Garp says it's fine. I'll take them under my wings, and he takes them to Marine headquarters, and that's where the episode ends. And then there's another episode where they're at Marine headquarters and they're basically doing kind of chore boy duty, and then they kind of get scared about all the physical activities and stuff. And Garp overhears them frequently, and he's like, I brought you guys. If you guys were to escape, it would look bad on me." And he beats them. And then they continue doing chore boy duty. And then at night, Helmeppo's like, "I'm gonna get out of here," or something like that. And then Kobe's able to kind of like persuade him to stay, and they both get persuaded to kind of like work hard. So what they do is during the night, Kobe and Helmeppo go and train. They'll do like sit ups, push ups, run around, pull ups, everything. They get stronger at night, and then during the day they work. And then one night, um, basically, one of the Marines talks about how Luffy has a $30 million bounty, and they talk about how they need to catch him quick and execute him. And then Kobe talks about how he's like friends with Luffy and stuff, and Helmeppo tells him to shut up because if he says to if people find out that he's friends with the pirate, he'll get kicked out of the Marines. And then we see Garp be there, and then Garp's like, "Did I hear that right? You guys are friends with pirates?" And he takes them aside to somewhere else, and then Kobe says that, "Hey, yeah, Luffy is my friend." um, and all that. And Garp is like, "Okay, that's fine, but don't tell anyone else. We'll just keep it within us three, I guess four, because the other officer is also there." And then Garp's like, "I'm gonna train you guys going forward." And then Garp tells them to come attack him and take him down. And Kobe and Helmeppo tried to take him down, but they ultimately get beaten up. And so yeah, they uh and then Kobe says something about wanting to be an officer, and then Garp laughs at him, and then this kind of like gives Kobe this inspiration, and he and Helmeppo run, and they both punch Garp right in the abdomen area, and then you kind of pan out, and then Garp talks about how he likes their determination. He sees that they're getting strong, but in terms of an actual test, he's like, "You guys suck." And then you just see Kobe and Helmet were just completely beaten up on the ground. And and then yeah, basically, Garp says, "I'm gonna train you guys. I'm gonna be training you guys moving forward." And then we just see Garp and the officer train. Well, it's like the officer is the one who's training Kobe and Helmeppo while Garp looks on over them, and that's how this end. And yeah, that's what I watched so far. That's what I was thinking this episode would
Okay.
cover. But go on. So
Yeah,
Luffy and the Usopp are dancing around, enjoying themselves.
yeah.
So
They
go
had too
on.
much sugar, according to the Four Kids version. So Vivi then, at the same time, Vivi starts thinking back to when Igaram was telling her that she needs to save Alabasta. She then says, "Yes, Igaram, I'll do it. You can count on me." As Sanji comes walking out with a tasty snack tray for both Nami and Vivi. They say thank you as they are about to eat it when or they say thank you, and then Usopp and Luffy come running towards the food, and Sanji says there's more in the kitchen. And then they just run towards that. Um, all the while, Nami starts looking sick. Um, we then see it then cuts to a swan ship sailing, and someone saying, "Now we present Mister Two." This Mister Two figure says he can't go on without his tutu, and that it fell into the water. He then says that they need to go, like, tells his crew that they need to go into the water and get it. They say they can't because there's sharks. It's then, like, revealed that Mr. Tutu is an older looking guy with a swan dress and then he says some kind of nonsense and then it cuts away. Like, that's, like, all that they show.
Oh wow. Is that where the episode ends?
No. So it keeps going
Okay.
on. Um,
Okay, so
yeah.
real quick, so some of the earlier scenes that you mentioned, maybe I'm just misremembering it because yeah, the tart dessert thing that Sanji gives, that is something that actually happens. Yeah, like they're part of the Kobe Helmeppo story. Like you kind of like
Oh,
go
okay.
back and forth with Luffy screw that. So that part is part of that. But no, Nami doesn't look sick in mine.
Okay, yeah. So she starts looking sick.
Okay, yeah, okay.
So Nami then is seen telling Vivi she's tired and needs to go to her room now. Vivi says, sure. Zolo has the compass as Nami collapses. Vivi then calls for the crew and they realize that she's burning up. Sanji's worried as they bring her down to the cabin. They draw some cold water for her, and Vivi explains that it must be the Grand Line fever and it happens a lot. She then says that sometimes. Hold on a second. Uh,
So actually, before you do continue, I think the way they might have edited it was that basically in one of the Kobe Helm episodes where they're looking at Luffy's crew, they basically get a newspaper, and
no,
Nami
that comes
sees.
back on too. That actually comes back in this episode too.
Okay. Well, the thing is, like, Nami sees a newspaper and then she gets concerned, but then so she gets a little concerned and then she quickly flips to the Kobe Helmeppo page. But I'm guessing that the part where she gets concerned is what they edited to make it look like she gets sick. And then I think that's how they edited it. But okay. So she gets the Grand Line food. But yeah, continue.
But she does eventually get sick, right? Or that's just way later on.
Not right now, but later on she does get sick.
Okay. So, anyways, she said. So Vivi says that sometimes the fever makes them never heard from again. As Vivi asks if there's anyone that knows anything about medicine, and they all point to Vivi. Um, why I don't know, but I guess it. So it looks like they're pointing at Vivi, but they might be pointing at um, Sanji. But anyways, Luffy says to give them something cold like ice cream. Sanji says he cooks, but he's not a doctor. He knows that good food can keep you well, and that's why he gives women the good food and the men the scraps. Sanji then says that this fever is so weird he doesn't know what to give her. Vivi checks her fever and says that she's too hot. Usopp says they can find a doctor in Alabasta, as Vivi says it's too long and reveals that she has a 103-degree fever. Luffy then says, what do pirates say? And Sanji and Usopp reply, they live to fight another day. And Vivi just yells at them. They all freak out, screaming, Nami needs a doctor. Nami then says she's sorry, she can't stop, and to look in her top desk drawer that there's a newspaper there. We then see Zolo lifting weights aboard the ship, asking himself if he should switch hands. Vivi then finds the newspaper and reads 300,000 soldiers have revolted against the royal guards in Alabasta. She says if they're fighting with the rebels and the royal guards will be outnumbered and that she's scared for her people. Nami then says the situation could be worse than she thinks because that newspaper is 3 days old and that she's sorry she didn't want to worry them. Nami then says she feels better, but certainly she does not look it, and she gets up and says it must have been hot chili peppers or a sunstroke. Usopp doesn't buy it as Luffy says, "Wow, Nami's better." Vivi then
So
yeah, go ahead.
okay, so actually, I do want to correct you on a well, like not correct you, but I do remember this scene because it's actually a pretty funny scene. So Nami is she's on the bed laying down, and we see Usopp, Sanji, and Luffy there, and then Vivi then says she's running a high fever and stuff, and she's like it's really bad, and then Luffy, I think she asks, I think it's either Luffy or Vivi. One of them asks, like, you guys know how a fever is like. And Sanji, Luffy, and Usopp are like, oh no, we've never had a fever in our lives. and then Vivi then yells at them, "What are you guys?" And then, like they have this funny face where their face is like completely blown up,
Yeah,
like the
that
question.
never happens, and I don't know why they changed that.
Dude, it would have been funny because they talk about how they never had a fever in their life,
Yeah.
and then she's like, "What are you guys monsters?" She looks back and yells, "What are you guys monsters?" And then you see Usopp running back and forth, and then you see Luffy worried, saying, Nami's gonna die, Nami's gonna die," and then you see Sanji just crying and like a little like fainty princess, he kind of like, "Oh no, no, not Nami's gonna die, Nami's gonna die." And then you see Luffy stamping his feet, waving his hands in and out, in and out, in and out.
Yeah, you
And you
still do
see,
see that in this.
yeah, but
Yeah.
it's because they like those three never had they were never sick before, and so that's why they didn't know what it was, and so that's why they reacted as such. But yeah, none of this happens. A lot of stuff is cut out. But yeah, continue.
Yeah.
I'll, I'll let you finish, and then I'll kind of recap where you guys are at. And
Okay. Yeah. Then Vivi begins to worry about the kingdom and says that the croc will crush them all. Vivi says she needs to go home now or a million will face destruction. Zolo is then seen doing his 1000th rep as Nami reveals that they're sailing off course. Zolo says he doesn't need the compass and he's following the cloud. Nami says it's useless because clouds move. Nami then says all hands on deck as Zolo calls out the rest of the men. Sanji says his ship has too many this ship has too many captains as Zolo says this is Nami's call. Sanji says what could be wrong? She's beautiful and the sky is blue. She warns of a storm, and Luffy touches her head and gets burned because it's so hot and says they gotta find her a doctor immediately. Nami then yells at Luffy and says, "Stay out of it because she's always hot." Sanji then says, "Talk of the storm makes her sound delirious." Usopp and asks Nami to lie down as Nami screams at them to get to work. Nami says, "Big wind, big waves, big rain." All the men work to lift the sails and speed up the ship. Nami holds the compass in her hands as Vivi tells them to listen up. Her kingdom is in trouble. They need to hurry up there really fast. She says that they first need to find an island with a doctor because Nami will be better to guide them at full strength. All of a sudden, they see a cyclone in the water as they discover that they're going to barely miss it thanks to Nami's navigation. Nami then says she doesn't know if she's going to make it and collapses into Vivi's arm as the episode ends.
okay. So they basically cut out Little Garden completely.
Awesome. So, another thing.
Yeah, so basically, so here's the thing, right? So, in one of the episodes, the Kobe and Helmeppo episodes, we do see a scene where Nami gets the newspaper and she looks at it concerned, and then when Vivi asks her what's up, she says, "Oh, it's nothing," and then she flips, and that's where we see Kobe and Helmeppo. The thing is, she then takes that paper and she hides it, and then they go off to Little Garden and so the thing about Little Garden is so it's this island where it's like filled with like big beasts and ancient like ancient monsters. Like you see like Zoro captures one dinosaur and Sanji captures another dinosaur. And then you see these two giants fight, Bragi and Dory. I think that's their name. I hope it's not the name I'm confusing with another set of giants that we meet. Um, and we meet these two giants, and apparently they've been fighting for like I think 100 years, something like that. And they say that like the giants, they live for a long time. Usopp gets inspired by them because they were brave warriors, and he hopes to become a brave warrior like them, and he really worships them. And then during that, what happens is it goes to this hotel, this upscale hotel, where we see this little girl and this elderly guy. The elderly guy, his name is Mr. Three, and they get assigned this task of taking out the straw hats. And Mr. Three has this candlestick power thing, and basically he goes off to Little Garden, and they interfere with the fight, which causes one of the guys to beat him, and they felt that it was like bad how they lost, and they realized that, oh, like these two, and I'm really kind of like I'm cutting out a lot of it because I'm just kind of like going off a quick summary memory of what happened in
Mm-hmm.
Little Garden. But yeah, basically, the is it Mr. Four, Mr. Four, Miss Wednesday, the booger guy, and the lady. They also come to Little Garden because they're just, they want to redeem themselves. So they're back in Little Garden, and Mr. Three and the little girl are there. He makes this kind of like candle thing, and Zoro, Vivi, and Nami are stuck in this candle thing. They can't get out. The giant is also stuck. The Straw Hat Pirates end up befriending the giants, and then Zoro's like, "Well, there's only one way." And he looks at the giant and he says, "There's only one way to escape the situation," and he's like, "I need to cut off my legs." And so he starts cutting off his legs, and then fortunately, I think they're I forget who saves them, but they're eventually saved.
Wait, who starts cutting off the legs?
Zoro starts cutting off his legs,
Oh, okay.
cutting off his own legs.
Yeah, okay.
And then there's even at one point where Zoro takes his sword out, like one of those like statue swordsmen, and Nami and Vivi ask, "Why are you doing that?" He's like, "Hey, look, we're stuck here. I want to make sure I look cool when I'm completely frozen statue." And he tells them what you guys should probably get into your poses too if you want to look like a badass when you're stuck. And they're just like yelling at him. So then yeah, he starts cutting off his legs, and then yeah, man, I forget like the specific details, but the little girl, she doesn't have a devil fruit power. We thought originally that she did have devil fruit powers. She doesn't. She just knows like ancient symbols that apparently changes a person's mood, and she basically got Luffy tired and got him like chilled out. And eventually Luffy gets out of that trance, and Luffy, Zoro, and and one of the other things that happens is Sanji goes into a little house, wax house thing, and he spots the Unluckies, the vulture and the the little cat jaguar thing, and he kills them, and he gets a phone call in the
Wait, who kills them?
Sanji kills the
Okay.
vulture. He kills the Unluckies. He snaps the neck of the vulture, and then I forget how he kills the animal, but I think he just like kicks it hard where it's like knocked out. Um, and and then there's the transponder snail there, and the transponder snail goes off, and then the person on the other end, I think the person on the transponder snail is um Mr. Zero, or maybe it's Mr. One. I think it's Mr. Zero. And then Mr. Zero asks, "Who's this?" And he's like, "Mr. Prince." And then yeah, basically they go off. They save the crew. Um, but the thing is, just as everything was starting to wrap up and they were about to head out, um, Nami gets Nami gets stung by a bee or some bug, a mosquito or some bug there, and then she just notices and she feels like a slight thing in her stomach, and she's like, "Ouch." Um, what we end up finding out was that the person who got struck, when he got defeated, he wasn't really hurt too much because since they've been fighting for 100 years, they said that their weapons are likely very dull now. And just as they were departing, there's like they said, just keep going forward, you'll be fine. There's a fish, but just keep going forward. And they're going forward in their ship. And as they're going forward, they see this big fish come out of nowhere, and they're inside the big fish. And then they think they're dead. But next thing we know is that the two giants do this one maneuver, which has this like cyclone water thing that
Oh wow, that's what that thing is.
yeah, it cuts through the big fish, and they're basically out in the open. Um, and yeah, and I think part of the reason it happened was because kind of like how Zoro and Sanji were having a hunting match where they're trying to find the biggest animal they killed. Apparently, in the ancient days when they first landed on the island, Bragi and Dory, they were also, I don't know if their name is Bragi and Dory, but I'm gonna say it's Bragi and Dory. They were also have a similar thing where they were like trying to figure out who had the bigger thing, and that's why the fight started. And the thing is, over time, the animals decayed, so the two half of the island where they were all like, it was like a huge skeleton on both. So I think the big skeleton of the animal, um, and Zoro cutting off his arm was, and then also Sanji killing off the Luckies. I think those were three reasons why maybe they cut out um that story.
What
Um
well it says here, I'm reading the One Piece uh wiki, and it says that the Unluckies actually are later caught by the Marines. That they don't actually die.
well, I mean, in the anime it looked like Sanji killed at least the vulture, maybe not the pirate, but okay. I mean, Oda has this tendency to not kill off
Yeah.
people, so not surprised. But yeah,
Maybe in the
but yeah,
anime
those are
it
the
just
things.
seems like that. Maybe it was something in the manga that they actually weren't. I think that might be it. Like in the
Yeah.
anime, they make it seem like they're killed off.
Yeah. So yeah, that's basically what happened. And that's how Nami gets sick, is that she doesn't realize it, that she got stung, and that sting is why she's sick. And that's why when she starts to get sick, um like we then see her pull out the newspaper about Alabasta, because now, time has passed between when they got the newspaper before they reached Little Garden and when she tells her after Little Garden. Time has passed about what's going on in Alabasta. So that's why Nami tells Vivi it's been a few days, because time has passed between when she read that in the newspaper before Little Garden and obviously where they're currently at after Little Garden, which is where you pick up. It's not like immediately, So
Yeah, I gotcha.
yeah, yeah. So
Yeah, because
yeah,
it's weird,
that's really
anyways,
what
that she has the paper. Like you don't ever see where she gets the newspaper.
Yeah. I mean, it's there's these seagulls that actually fly with the newspapers, and they you pay the seagull, like they have a little pouch with
Oh, you
money, you
see
put it
this
in,
in
and
the
then
later episodes,
yeah, in one of the later ones we see it, but in this one we just see
and
the
the
seagull
newspaper
drop the
just
newspaper.
ends up. Oh wait, you do see a seagull dropping the paper?
We see a seagull dropping the paper.
Okay,
We don't see them paying the seagull
got
in
it.
this one, but later on they do. But yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah. And this, obviously, in the Four Kids, she just mentions the newspaper. You never see how she got it.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, wow, this is crazy. They cut out two arcs, but that would explain
Far.
why there was only four episodes in this season, right?
I guess so. I mean, yeah, I mean, I guess so. I don't know why they cut out the Kobe and Helmeppo thing. I don't think that one was too bad.
No, but maybe they just thought it was pointless for their story.
I mean, yeah, it's completely pointless because, well, I mean, I guess I kind of get it because we don't see Kobe and Helmeppo until much later on. So
Yeah.
way past after the show got canceled for Four Kids.
Oh wow. Well, there's that, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a crazy amount of stuff that they cut out. But I guess we will be back in a couple weeks for the first episode of season 3 from the Four Kids in. I guess it's also season 3 from your end as well.
No, it's still season two.
Oh well, they call it season 3 of the Four Kids, the next part. So
Okay.
we shall see what
Cool.
crazy things that they get into. I can tell you the next episode's title is called Saving Nami.
Yeah. I mean,
But
the
yeah,
Little Garden isn't too long, so it's like a few episodes, so it's not too bad. But yeah, I'll catch up to it.
alrighty. Well, yeah, thanks for listening, everyone. Like I said, we'll be back in a couple weeks here. But yeah, we'll hopefully we'll be back in 2 weeks for sure. If not, 3 weeks, because I'm gonna be working with Laura on some charity stream coming up. So by the time you hear this episode, I bet you the charity stream will be over. So might as well not mention it. I'll mention it on the next episode for sure, though. But yeah, uh, thanks for listening, watching, or whatever, everyone. Thanks for coming by and checking out the episode Techno. I see you in the chat. But yeah, that's it. We'll talk to you guys later.
All right, cool.
Bye.
Bye.